The big mystery box that we pulled the card out of said to go to the Grand Canyon. And then from the cookie jar, we pulled out the arts and crafts challenge. I told you all of this was going to be a lot more interactive. And we have half a dozen different bizarre myths that involve the Grand Canyon. I want you all to vote in the comments section for which of these legends that we're about to talk about that you want me to go and actually pursue. So let's get into the mind-blowing mysteries of the Grand Canyon. And then when we get to the end of this video, you all need to pick which one is your favorite. There is a connection between the paranormal, UFOs, and the myths of ancient history. The clues are scattered across the landscape from a forbidden past, maybe even in your own backyard. There is a connection between the true nature of our reality, consciousness, and the unexplained. I'm Carl the Crusher. Let's explore the unknown. Welcome back, Crusher Crew. In our last video, I pulled a card out of the Book of Destiny, the mystery box, and the cookie jar of fun. So the fates have decided, and I'm already planning a trip back up to Skinwalker Ranch territory within the next month or so. I'm exploring over 50 acres of land that's adjacent to Blind Frog Ranch to the south and northwest of Skinwalker Ranch. So when I was there on my trip with Chris Bartell and James Keenan, we worked with the Skinwalker Ranch team and explored all of the underground cave systems and the actual transient path of the Skinwalker that seemed to be active from the mountains north of Blind Frog Ranch all the way down the valley through the geology and into the triangle right on Skinwalker. So Lightning Springs Ranch is directly on this path, and that's where we're going to go to set up a MUPOS device. We have 9 international MUPOS systems now, which is really exciting. And some of them you can even view the public data and watch the sensors live, as well as read the journal entries. We currently have them placed in Norway, in the Rendlesham forests, and other places as well. Among the most enduring legends tied to the Grand Canyon are those of the indigenous tribes, particularly the Hopi and the Navajo people, or the Dene. These tribes, whose ancestors lived in the Southwest for millennia, speak of beings and events far beyond the ordinary. For the Hopi, one of the most enduring stories is that of the ant people, beings that lived beneath the earth in an underground world. According to their oral traditions, the ant people were benevolent beings who actually helped the Hopi, and they survived 2 catastrophic world-ending events because of this help. The first was a great fire that destroyed the world, and the second was a world-ending flood and ice. The ant people guided the Hopi into their underground homes where they were sheltered from these apocalyptic events. These beings are sometimes described as humanoid creatures with characteristics resembling ants, large heads, antennae, and the ability to navigate these subterranean tunnels. What if these ant people weren't just a part of a myth? What if they were extraterrestrial beings who had an ancient presence on Earth? These stories are often seen as remnants of ancient encounters with beings from other worlds. Perhaps even a form of alien contact that occurred long before our modern understanding of the phenomena. Is it possible that the Hopi ancestors were visited by beings not from this world? Or is it something more symbolic at play? We're all familiar with the stories of Skinwalker Ranch, and several other tribes like the Navajo tell these stories of underground worlds where skinwalkers and shape-shifting entities are said to dwell. The Navajo believe that these creatures can traverse between the physical world and the spirit world through hidden paths and portals, many of which are believed to be located within the depths of the Grand Canyon. These skinwalkers are terrifying and malevolent, and can transform into various animals and are often linked with dark magic and spiritual warfare. Because of the TV show on the History Channel, the Navajo tribe's connection to the legend of skinwalkers is often misunderstood as having originated in Utah, But the real heart of this legend actually lies in the stories told by those who reside in the Navajo tribe at the Grand Canyon. This is where the idea of the underworld comes from, and the focus of the Grand Canyon is not only geographical feature, but a literal and symbolic gateway into these realms of the unknown. The Grand Canyon's history is also deeply intertwined with the Anasazi, the ancient Native American civilization that flourished in the American Southwest between 1000 AD and 1300 AD. The Anasazi are known for their incredible cliff dwellings and advanced knowledge of agriculture, astronomy, and construction. However, by the late 13th century, the Anasazi suddenly disappeared. The reasons for their disappearance are completely unknown, and some believe that the Grand Canyon may hold the key to this mystery. It's theorized that the Anasazi may have had sacred sites within the Grand Canyon which were used for spiritual rituals, astronomical observations, or even as locations to make contact with beings from other realms. So could the disappearance of the Anasazi be linked to these interactions with mysterious forces or beings, these portals? Or did the Grand Canyon serve as a gateway to another world, one that the Anasazi had discovered and chosen to go inside? Some even speculate that the Anasazi suddenly disappeared because of a cataclysmic event, or they discovered something within the Grand Canyon that led them into some kind of a voluntary exodus, or perhaps a portal, or they joined a lost civilization or an ancient technology. And this connection goes on for thousands of years. There's always been an undeniable spiritual connection between the Grand Canyon for many Native American tribes. For the Hopi, the Navajo, the Zuni, the Havasupai, the Grand Canyon is like a totally sacred place to them. And it's an intersection of physical, spiritual, and cosmic realms. And some of the tribes even believe the Grand Canyon is the center of the world, or a point where the boundaries between the physical world and the spirit world is actually at its thinnest. It's like a place of ritual. People go through initiations and undertake spiritual journeys. And the canyon itself is the backdrop for all of this and the visionary encounters with the divine. So what if these experiences that people are having are more than just personal revelations? Could the canyon's magnetic fields, the underground caverns, the electromagnetic anomalies be influencing these mystical experiences? Are the spiritual portals that indigenous tribes have always revered actually connected to extraterrestrial visitations and time portals or gateways to another dimension, because the Grand Canyon sort of creates the environment for this to happen? And the Grand Canyon has always been a spiritual epicenter, not only for Native American tribes, but for anybody who has been there and felt that profound mystery that it holds when you walk up to the edge and you look down and see how huge and vast it is. It's pretty undeniable. Not to mention, when you've looked into the history of the giant skeletons and the cover-up between that and the Smithsonian Institute. We're going to talk about the Smithsonian a little bit more. Conspiracy stories surrounding the Grand Canyon is that of giant human skeletons. There have been several alleged discoveries in the region. Some of these giant skeletons are up to 12 feet tall, and they have been reported by the pioneers and early settlers to be found in caves in and around the region of the Grand Canyon as early as the 1900s. Some of these bones were even seriously studied, but within a few days, they also mysteriously disappeared. And then the stories are always quietly suppressed. And when you look into it, it's almost like the Smithsonian Institute was always playing a role in concealing the discoveries or trying to disrupt those types of narratives about there being giants and that being something real. And it's interesting because when you look into Native American history, the giants that the Navajo and the Hopi legends describe may not be mythological at all, but they could be evidence of an ancient race of humans that once actually lived in the land. In 1909, the Arizona Gazette published something fascinating: The Mystery of Kincaid's Cave. It's one of the most intriguing and popular stories about the Grand Canyon, and G.E. Kincaid is the center of that story. His alleged discovery of an ancient Egyptian-style tomb within the Grand Canyon has been a popular story that has been passed around and featured on television shows for decades. According to the article, Kincaid was again sponsored by the Smithsonian Institution, and he stumbled on another cave system deep within the Grand Canyon. And inside that cave, he reportedly found not only Egyptian-style artifacts, but also mummies, and suggested that there was a presence of an ancient, long-lost civilization. The artifacts also had hieroglyphs that could not be easily explained by contemporary scholars. The idea that Egyptian relics were found inside the Grand Canyon is one of the most enduring and long-lasting controversies that has been around this entire region. And according to the Arizona Gazette's story, Kincaid's expedition uncovered massive underground tunnel systems and a whole complex that had once been inhabited by an ancient civilization. But there is glaring issues with this account, and there hasn't been any further evidence, and the Smithsonian Institute has denied any involvement in this expedition or the discovery of any artifacts. If this story is real, how did these artifacts from ancient Egypt end up in North America? How did they end up in the Grand Canyon so far away? What is their connection through lost civilizations? Was there ancient travel and trade that once roamed this continent, or is there something more sinister at play? Is there deliberate cover-up? Was it not Egyptian? Was the story changed, and did it have something else to do with it? Connected to the Grand Canyon is also the Hoover Dam. The Hoover Dam, when it was built, was constructed with all kinds of strange occult symbolism. The Hoover Dam is an engineering marvel, completed in 1936. It stands as a living monument to the ingenuity and the power of the natural world. But beyond its physical presence lies even deeper mystery, one of symbolism, strange occult references, and hidden meaning. The dam, which spans across the Colorado River and forms the border between Nevada and Arizona, is covered with a number of sculptures, plaques, and symbolic designs that are actually suggestive of some kind of connection to astronomy and heavy occult themes. Right at the heart of the symbolism are actually two towering bronze figures known as the winged figures of the Republic. These are 30-foot tall statues, and they stand guard at the base of the dam. Their wings are all spread out wide as if preparing to take flight, and they're supposed to symbolize a balance between intellect and power. But what if these figures are more than just representations of human achievement? What if there's something else? Perhaps unions between two worlds, the physical and the spiritual. The terrazzo floor on the dam's dedication ceremony was imprinted with a whole celestial star map, charting these star maps as they appear on the night of the dam's completion. The star map is not merely decorative. It was designed to convey specific messages about time, space, and the alignment of the cosmos. The dam's construction coincided with a period of intense interest in astrology, mysticism, and the potential for communicating with otherworldly forces. So it really makes you wonder, was the dam's design all constructed with an encoded message? Was there a hidden language that only a few people understand, messages that tie in to the ancient secrets of the civilizations of the Grand Canyon, or possibly even extraterrestrials? But the connection between the Grand Canyon becomes clear when we understand the Hoover Dam's location near the canyon itself. The dam stands as a sentinel, guarding not only the flow of the Colorado River, but also perhaps a deeper secret. Was the dam's entire construction a way to seal something up or hide a secret underneath the waters of the Colorado River? Was it built as part of a greater plan to reveal hidden knowledge accessible only through the understanding of ancient symbols and the cosmic alignments? This ties into the whole story of Valiant Thor, the alleged extraterrestrial who is said to have helped the US government, and the story of him is one of the most bizarre and controversial chapters of the history of UFO lore. According to Dr. Frankie Stranges, who wrote the book Stranger at the Pentagon, Thor was an extraterrestrial being who arrived on Earth in the 1950s with the mission to help the United States government. Thor allegedly met with high-ranking officials and offered to assist with the world's most pressing issues: nuclear weapons, war, and environmental destruction. Thor claimed that he was a representative of a peaceful alien civilization from the planet Venus, and he was sent to guide humanity towards a brighter future. Thor was said to be a striking human-like figure, tall and handsome with piercing blue eyes and blonde hair. His presence was magnetic, and he spoke with authority, conveying his knowledge of an advanced technology that could revolutionize life on Earth. According to dozens of eyewitnesses and people that knew Thor, they claimed that his spacecraft was allegedly beneath the Colorado River near the Hoover Dam. Some claimed that his ship was located in a hidden cave system beneath the canyon, possibly connected to the very portals that the Native American legends have talked about. While there's no concrete evidence that supports the story of Valiant Thor's visit to Earth or that he was even from Venus, it's all connected to the stories of his spaceship hiding under the waters of the Colorado River near the Hoover Dam. So the question remains, was Thor a real ET visitor, or is his story just another layer of the ever-growing tapestry of high strangeness surrounding the Grand Canyon? So now that we have covered the several legends of the Grand Canyon, it's time for all of you to vote in the comments, just like you're taking a poll, and pick which one I need to pursue next in this video series. And remember that all of these cards are going back into the mystery box, and each time we make videos, we're going to pick different quests. So thanks all of you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.